Welcome to Dundee, a city on the east coast of Scotland with a rich history and an exciting future.
I'm an environmental campaigner and activist, and I fell in love with the environment studying at the University of Dundee. I've seen firsthand the transition this city's been on from past industries and trades to being the forefront of the green revolution. One big part of that is Eden Project Dundee, a regeneration project of the Dundee gasworks by the team behind the original Eden Project Cornwall.
The gasworks in Dundee sits on the bank of the River Tay. Gas produced here lit the street lights and meant people could cook and heat their homes for 140 years. The site is now disused and closed to the public, with the largest remaining building being the enormous gas holder. Instead of removing it, Eden plans to incorporate this striking structure into the designs for Eden Project Dundee. I've been given special access to visit this fascinating site and find out more about its past with Dundee historian Iain Gillespie.
It goes back to being a country house called Peeperday House over there, because this was where the Dawn came up. And then they sold land here to a soap works in 1790, which would be stenchy, very smelly. And then the first Dundee Gas Company moved in 1824 to provide lights. They were supplied by coal by sea. The new gas company was in competition with them, and it was chaos, so the town council took them over in 1870. And you had a coal gas production site here, which by that time was fed by railway. As technology progressed, they realized they didn't need gas holders, and now this small square building does all the work of gas distribution that this area did beforehand.
What would it have been like to work at the gasworks?
It was noisy, it was smelly, but Dundonians loved it. They called it the Gassy. And there was a lot of civic pride because Dundee Corporation, Dundee Town Council ran it for 120 years very well, and it was one of the most modern, advanced gas facilities in Scotland.
And now that remains is the gas holder. Why has that been left behind when everything else has been removed?
Because that was modern, and it's what a spiral gas holder, it sort of swivels like a corkscrew, that was in use right up until about 2000. And they thought they might use that for reserve holding, whereas modern technology means you can pressurize it in pipes and you don't need things like big gas holders anymore.
Thank you for sharing all the knowledge that you have.
A pleasure. It's so exciting, especially to think that this is going to transform the site into a post-industrial Eden. It's wonderful. And I strongly suggest you go and speak to Dr. Erin Farley in Local History and Central Library, because she's got some fantastic plans that show you the development of the site and some wonderful photographs.
I took Ian's recommendation and went along to meet Dr. Erin Farley.
Here we've got some historic maps of Dundee which show the gasworks site and the context of the rest of the city over the years. This is the oldest one. It was done in 1793, and as you can see the city is much smaller then, and instead of the gasworks what we've got here is a house and grounds called Peeperday. When we move on to the next map, we've got one from 1834 here, just next to Peeperday here. You've got the gasworks buildings starting to appear there. And then moving on to this one, which dates from 1847. You can see here we've got a much more extensive gasworks site. This is the plan of the newer gasworks. The layout of the gas holders has changed quite a lot. Interestingly enough, this one has also included space for gardens. We've got a flower garden planned out down here, which is a really interesting thing to include in a gasworks plan. This book is one of the volumes of the Dundee Photographic Survey. It was published in 1916. This image, of course, this shows part of the building that we can still see on the site today.
more about the history of the gasworks site was fascinating. But how does the Eden Project's history inform the work happening in Dundee? I've travelled here to the Eden Project in Cornwall to hear the story of this remarkable place and how its transformation of a former China clay pit sets a template for regeneration projects around the world.
Spending time at the Eden Project in Cornwall got me really excited about the potential for Eden Project Dundee. But what will a day out there actually be like? I met Blair Parkin, who is the Eden Project's Head of Experience Development, to find out.
I probably have the best job in the world. So I get to take this idea and work with communities all over the world and my team and local partners to create an Eden project for a place. We've been working for a couple of years with the people of Dundee, with our partners, the University of Dundee, the Northwood Charitable Trust and Dundee City Council, to create the opportunity to build an Eden in the city centre of Dundee.
When you come to Cornwall, you step out and you see the biomes and you see the plants. What is it going to look like at Eden Project Dundee?
The site at the moment has 230 years of being at the centre of the carbon-based energy industry. So we are going to stick with the heritage of the site and use the site to talk about what has happened in the past and then what could happen in the future, our regenerative future. There's a 62 metre diameter gas holder on site. It's an enormous tank that used to rise to nearly 70 metres high when it was full of gas. We're going to turn that gas holder into an indoor forest, a living exhibit. You enter in a dark space, you learn about the formation of fossil fuels, and then you enter through the dark space the base of a forest, a living forest. And in that amazing botanical exhibit, we will discuss our future using technology and using nature and using human activity to fix some of the issues we've got with all the carbon that have been released. And what are our futures? We don't want to go back to the Stone Age. We don't want to stop driving to work. So how can we do that differently so that we don't damage the planet? And so the gas holder is going to be this giant example of the circular economy. And then we're going to do other things on site, as yet still to be imagined.
The gas holder is certainly going to be one of the main attractions, but the site is not very pretty. It looks quite challenging. What made you choose such a difficult site to begin with?
That's a question that it keeps me awake at night. Across the city of Dundee, we looked at 16 locations, and 15 of those locations were in good shape, environmentally in a nice condition. My team rejected all of them because what is it we could improve? There was nothing we could improve. The gasworks site, which is what is referred to as a brownfield industrial site, so it's disused and it's unloved, and it's also in the city centre, became the obvious place to create an Eden. By giving it some love, we can literally bring it to life, and that's what we intend to do.
A project like Eden does not just pop up overnight. What can we expect to see in the city of Dundee while we wait for this to be completed?
We have this amazing wildflower programme with the Alexander Monker Trust and Nature Scott, where we are transforming unloved verges, grass areas, brownfield areas, and so far about 9 hectares are planned in the centre of Dundee. Community come out and help us plant those, and then in the spring to summer months they are beautiful, so you can go and see them, you can visit them. There really is so much going on in Dundee, and also we have partnerships with other existing institutions like the V&A, the Discovery Centre, the McManus, all of these places. It's an amazing thing to go and spend a day or a night in Dundee, and as we grow our programmes there'll be so much more to see. And hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll also be able to come to a physical Eden in Dundee.
I'll definitely go and check some of that out. Back to you, Laura, in Dundee. Yes, thank you. We are back in Dundee. So we know Eden is working on programmes across the city which embody the mission of this project. But what are they actually doing? I'm here at Morgan Academy, a school in Dundee, to find out more about the Meanwhile project where they turned a lawn into a beautiful wildflower meadow. It's great to meet you all and be at the school and hear a little bit about this wildflower meadow you have partnered with Eden. What were some of the bits that you most enjoyed of the projects that you did?
I really liked the creative aspect of just, our teacher saying, get out there and just take any photos of any flowers. And it really made me appreciate all our school was, but also the added benefits of having the meadow there.
And it's good to know you enjoyed it, but how does it fit in with your learning and the curriculum?
When we were doing the planting and harvesting, I had biology. And in biology, we were learning about biodiversity, aka how the different species come together, and with more diversity, it's better for the environment. So this really intertwined with the subject I was in.
Would you like to see projects like the one you've got happen across the city?
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea because other places in Dundee would have beautiful flower plantations and it would really brighten up the city.
I also just think it can bring a lot of different types of people together. So some people might use this for science purposes, but some also people might use it for the art purposes.
That's really brought our school together, but also the community, having something the community can be proud of, experiencing how great wildlife can be and how great nature can be.
So good to talk to the kids who are getting involved in the Eden Project before it's even been built. But what do the teachers think, and what effect can having an Eden Project right here have on the education of kids in Dundee?
It's provided a real stimulus for our learning around nature, our learning around sustainability and the importance of that. And it's also ensured that other curriculum areas have had this beautiful stimulus to think about their learning, whether that be creative writing or creative arts, photography. The response has been really overwhelming, and not just within the school community. We're situated in the heart of Dundee. Our community is very beautiful, has a lot of natural assets, but it's also an inner city area with quite a lot of problems. And the feedback we got from the entire community was how wonderful having this wildflower meadow in the centre of the community was.
What do you think Eden Project Dundee will do for the education of kids across the city?
Well, I think we've demonstrated in this project that when you get young people to think about and engage with nature and their environment, they become really stimulated, that they become alive. So to have the opportunity to connect with an organisation like Eden is a privilege, it's a real gift.
How would you like the work from the Meanwhile projects to influence the big Eden Project Dundee that's coming soon?
Well, I think Eden have got a terrific opportunity through this engagement to listen to young people and listen to what it is that they see as the vision for Eden Dundee. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create something that the city feels real ownership of.
The Eden Project has always said it's crucial to work with local partners for Eden Project Dundee. But who are these partners and why did they get involved? I've come down to the University of Dundee to meet Principal Professor Iain Gillespie to find out more.
So what we're trying to do is bring the Eden Project to the old gasworks. Gasworks opposite the docks. It's a dirty old site, hundreds of years of hydrocarbon production. And the Eden Project will sit on that site and transform the site, but also transform a story. We're interested in how does the Eden Project take us on that transformation journey, that just transition to a future sustainable economy where no one's left behind.
What are some of the local experiences and knowledge that you can bring into this project?
Dundee's a city which has built itself over centuries on being outward looking, on trading, on connectivity, on being a bit of a gritty city, but nevertheless trying to take ideas of social justice out. Dundee's the place to do it, and the centre of Dundee's the place to put that kind of transformative action.
Education is a huge part of this. Why is that so important to you in your role?
So the Eden Project is about helping us see and transform ourselves as a society to that equitable, sustainable future. And education, both for our students, but also for broader society, is going to be key to delivering on that goal.
Thank you so much for your time and of course for sharing how the University of Dundee is partnering with this amazing Eden Project Dundee. The University of Dundee is one of the top universities in the UK and attracts students from all over the world. So what did they think
of Eden Project Dundee.
I cannot believe I'm here with less waste lawn. That's so cool.
I just recently heard about it, but I think it's fantastic. It's going to be very interesting for us as a community here.
I'm really excited about it actually.
Dundee is a uni city, to be honest, and the green space here, for example, is really used by a lot of students. So having like a separate green space is also something I think will be really used. I'm so excited about it.
What are you most excited about seeing when it comes?
I think I'm most excited to see the like Riverside turn into even more of a like cool place to be.
So I'm like all for like more green stuff in like Dundee. I'm all for like everything being more like environmentally friendly, especially getting rid of like the gasworks that I heard about, like removing like the toxic land for like a much nicer, like more green space.
I hope it brings like more people visiting Dundee, to be honest, and I really hope it like brings better like kind of education, like doing more stuff outside.
Having like greenery and like plants is going to be so cool. I love plants.
There is definitely a buzz growing around the project. I went to meet John Alexander, the leader of Dundee City Council, another key partner in Eden Project Dundee. I met him at the V&A Dundee, the iconic new museum on the waterfront of the River Tay.
The first meeting that took place to discuss the relationship with Eden took place in my office a number of years ago now, and brought together the University of Dundee, Dundee City Council and Eden itself. And it wasn't actually to discuss the Eden project itself as we now know it, but actually to talk about kind of collaboration on education, sustainability. All of us came away with a sense that there's actually a really unique kind of bringing together of partners here who all have a shared ambition.
What benefit will Eden Project Dundee bring to Dundonians here on the ground?
There are so many benefits that can be derived from a project of this nature. It's so multifaceted and it's such an incredible opportunity, such an incredible project in so many ways. And you know, we're sitting in the V&A today, and I think this is a demonstration of our commitment to regeneration, looking at culture, looking at education, and looking at the links to both the heritage of the city and also the future of the city.
The city has changed so much over the last few years, even the last 10 years. What change do you see coming over the next 5 years?
I've more recently become known for my catchphrase, which is be bold, be ambitious, be in Dundee. And I think that epitomises the approach that we've been taking over the last 10 years. There's a real excitement and a buzz in the city about the prospect of Eden coming on the back of everything that we've seen over the last 10 years. And you know, I've seen the physical transformation of the city over that period of time. I'm born, raised and educated in the city here in Dundee, now bringing up my own family in the city, and I couldn't think of anywhere better to do so. And I'm really excited about what this can potentially help the wider city achieve in the longer term.
As someone who lives in Dundee, I'm really excited for this project to be live and to be able to go and see it. Do you think it's going to attract more tourists to the city?
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a huge attraction for those within Dundee, those in the surrounding region, but I think it's going to be a project of national significance. It's going to draw people from across the UK and hopefully wider afield. And it's not just about it being a kind of cultural venue. Once and done, you come and visit and then you go home and you're happy. The impact of what you will hopefully hear and learn and read and interact with while you're visiting Eden Project will stay with people and resonate.
If anyone hasn't been to Dundee before, what would you want to say to them if they're thinking about taking a visit?
But why not? First of all, why haven't you been to Dundee? I think it is an incredible city, and I often describe it as the Goldilocks city. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's just perfect, it's just right. The city is in transition, it's changing, and we've seen through the cultural investments that we've made, such as the V&A, but not just the V&A, that there is a real kind of dynamic, exciting, vibrant environment being created.
Wow, what a journey I've been on. It's been great to find out more about Eden Project Dundee, talk to the people who are getting involved and get to visit the site. It's amazing to think that the old gasworks, which has sat on the riverbank for so many years, will be transformed into an Eden, representing the journey that this city's been on, transitioning from old fossil fuel industries into something that will spread hope and be a catalyst for environmental regeneration. Plus, it sounds like a great day out. I'm passionate about climate, reducing waste and environmental justice issues. That's why I'm so excited for an organisation like Eden who share these values to become part of the rich fabric of this city. It's clear that there is still a lot of work to do to make this project a reality, but in making this film, I've seen firsthand the passion, enthusiasm and support behind it. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Eden Project Dundee develops, and I hope you are too.